pasa, gente? Bienvenidas, bienvenidos a los juegos del Tito Amor. Yo soy Mor, estamos aquí con Genshin Impact una vez más. Y bueno, estos días estamos haciendo misioncillas en Fontaine. Y bueno, voy a seguir con las misiones principales porque han metido un evento nuevo, que es este, que solo dura 17 días y parece ser que es muy chulo. Que es de una criatura misteriosa, así como una sirena o algo así, que se ha comido a unos niños. Entonces resulta que hay que ir a explorar y tiene muy buenísima pinta porque se desarrolla en 3 actos y dice que tienes que recolectar objetos, que matar monstruos y encima resulta que hay que entrar en territorio desconocido. Es por aquí, más o menos. Así que la quiero hacer, me interesa y además la voy a grabar probablemente para enseñarosla. Pero resulta que te dice si quieres hacer la misión esta, está muy bien, pero te recomendamos que hagas primero la conjetura del Nixie. Dice, pero te recomendamos que hagas primero ¿ves? Está aquí. Dice, pero te recomendamos que hagas primero las estas porque... Espérate, ¿dónde se ve eso? Aquí. Misiones recomendadas, ¿ves? Te dice tal, no sé qué, ahí son 3. Dice, pero te recomendamos que hagas el capítulo 4, acto 5, porque si no, es posible que algunos personajes o lugares estén ocupados y que conozcas a algunos personajes antes de tiempo, que es lo que no quiero. Entonces, después de toda esta cháchara que me enrollo más que las persianas, voy a hacer las misiones principales. Lo malo es que no vamos a tirar al gachapón porque no tengo protogemas. Entonces, voy a grabarlas todos estos días, una misión cada día si puedo. Pero es que nosotros estamos en el capítulo 4, acto 2, y tenemos que llegar hasta el acto 5 para poder jugar ese evento correctamente. En fin, ¿qué vamos a eso? Vamos a hacer misiones sin tiradas al gachapón, ¿vale? Así que nada, espero que os parezca bien, espero que estéis muy bien. Ya sabéis, como os digo siempre, que si os está gustando os podéis parar un segundín para dejarme likes, comentarios, suscribiros, darle a la campanita, compartir el vídeo, recomendarme, hacerme un bizum de 6.000 euros, yo que sé, lo que queráis, todo es bienvenido aquí. Este es vuestro canal de videojuegos. Así que nada, vamos aquí, que es la misión principal es ve a la base de Espina di Rossura. Es verdad que estábamos con los investigadores estos. Vale, me he puesto el equipo tradicional de Moria, Bárbara, Shanglin y Lisa, porque como es misión y nos va a tocar estar hablando todo el rato y tal, pues oye, para que no sea el cambio tan brusco, ¿no? De Yelan a Moria y de Moria a Senge. Vale. Ok. Traveler. Ve al alojamiento que te tiene preparado Navia. Joder, pues vaya alojamiento que me tiene preparado aquí en las alcantarillas. Te lo podías currar un poquito más, hija. Y darme un hotel de 5 estrellas. Mira, tía. Me tiene aquí un alojamiento aquí en las alcantarillas de Fontaine. Tócate los pies, señor Marqués. Uy, ¿cómo estamos tan mal de vida? Si está Moria a punto de cascar. Nada, hija, recupérate. Bueno, tampoco está mal porque así exploramos un poco más esta zona, que la tenemos bastante inexplorada. De hecho, yo entré aquí a las alcantarillas a tocar un teletransporte. Ahora mismo no recuerdo si lo enseñé en cámara o no. O lo hice yo por mi cuenta. Pero es que han metido un montón de misiones nuevas, tío. Está el evento este. Hay otra, mira, hay otra misión que no la hemos cogido aún. Aquí, misión disponible. O sea, es una locura. Locura, Timo. Pero ya sabéis, como siempre me gusta eso, pues acabar los vídeos con una tirada del gachapón, por eso de que haya emoción, a ver si nos toca personaje y tal. Pero claro, es que si no hago estas misiones del Arconte no voy a poder jugar al evento. que como os he dicho y repito porque soy así de pesado, se acaba en 17 días.
This is your base?
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's...
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us. Seems like it's tough times for everyone. To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years... Your father? He was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right?
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one that 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. Oh no. But I do not believe my father was a murderer. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, but strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel. 3 years later, I still don't understand.
Porque seguramente no sería él el que mató a su amigo y diría, si no, no quiero vivir sin mi amigo, o algo así.
How could he protect his honor if he's dead? The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death. Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case. That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive.
Bueno, venga, pues vamos a ir investigándolo.
He hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our...
Wait! If Callus was such a good man... no. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf. But how could... never mind.
There is one other thing.
Oh! Her? Well, then, yeah. That's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on.
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the... She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but there was only ever one choice.
It's not that I don't understand her at all. Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel... Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right. Anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Thanks. You two should go and rest. Yeah. Everyone's beat.
Please, relax and get some sleep.
Vale, muy bien, pues nada, vamos a dormir. Y tendremos que seguir investigando la muerte de su padre y la desaparición de las niñas, antes de pasar a la misión esa de una sirena se ha comido a unos niños.
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vacher.
Vacher.
So you didn't sleep at all? How could I after having such critical new evidence appear? Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Como siempre, tú no tienes ningún problema.
Seems to have been wiped from existence.
Tú con comer y dormir.
Seem to have a match anywhere. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this... Does that mean we're too late, though? No. There is one ray of hope. What? And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing recently.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along, Navia?
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
Pues muy bien, vamos a ver a Neuvillette. Misión completada. Nueva misión. Una verdad perdida tras la lluvia de... Voy a ver al Juez Supremo. Pero me pregunto yo, seguimos en el acto 2, ¿no? Sí. Vale, vale. Pues a ver, ¿dónde está? Pues espérate, si hay que subir. Vamos a tirarnos por el teletransporte mejor. Aquí a la estatua de los 7. La estatua de los 7 abueletes. Toma, estás podrido. Vale, a ver si nos diera tiempo a acabar hoy el acto 2. O sea, ya lo teníamos empezado del episodio anterior. Como ya sabéis, las misiones del Arconte son largas. Entonces yo suelo grabar 45 minutillos, más o menos, para que no sea ni muy corto ni demasiado largo. Y en 45 minutillos no suelo acabar yo nunca las misiones del Arconte. Pero bueno, tengamos fe. Y optimismo.
Oh, please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or...
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Hyman can tell.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy.
Sí, ya tenemos que estar muy ocupada ahí de guardiana de la puerta.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Ah, thanks so much.
Please come in.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Neuvillette. We only like to get in because...
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I...
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk to?
Este tiene las orejas un poco así, puntiagudas, a lo elfo. Es medio elfo.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been... There are no records of him either in the files or in my...
Pues nada.
What if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then.
Ahem.
Pim, pim, piri, pim, pim, pim. Esperen, no se vayan
Miss
todavía.
Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man.
And what are you trying to say? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, you even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case. Yet, in your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing. If you truly regret my father's death, Then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die? Just everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart, and it's not so much that you can't feel, but oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Joder, vaya la que le ha liado al juez. Que por supuesto yo creo que el juez de algún modo sabe algo relacionado con el caso de su padre, o estoy seguro. No para mal, sino para bien. Como que él también está investigando, a lo mejor en secreto, alguna historia de esas. Vamos, segurísimo 100%. Pondría mi zarpa en el fuego. Mi garra. Now what?
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building?
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder,
Vaya,
What is
qué
it?
coincidencia.
Did you think of something?
yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? Yeah. And if that's what had happened,
Es verdad que aquí en Fontaine se convierte en agua, macho. Es que de verdad que a cada país que llegamos es más raro que el anterior, ¿eh? O sea,
I found a true genius for a partner. All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
venga, pues vamos.
make progress for sure this time.
Con una que lo diga
Do you
es
want to go with me
suficiente.
now, or do you want to head over by yourself later?
No, ahora. Hay que acabar esta misión. O sea, como sea.
Great.
Venga, let's go. Let's go, people. Clon, 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 clon. Urupum. A ver cómo vamos de tiempo, un segundín. Bueno, queda todavía un poquillo. Ve a Poisson. ¿Dónde está Poisson? ¿Y dónde estoy viendo un Hydroculus? Allí. ¡Hala! Hostia, pero ¿cómo llegamos ahí, tío? Este me parece que lo intenté. Y me caí como 7 veces y dije al final, anda y que te den por saco. Entonces, ¿dónde está esto? Allí a 90 metros. Hola, señor Gavilán.
Whoa. What a huge ship.
There's no need to be so surprised. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself,
Well,
Y no me podías haber alojado en el barco en vez de las cloacas.
began, after all.
Tía asquerosa.
It's our main base, our home.
Tía tacaña. Habla con Melus en el barco. Pero ya descansar en este puente, que si no nos vamos a caer para abajo del todo y luego hay que volver a subir para arriba. Bajar para abajo y subir para arriba. Qué cosa más. Pues claro, no vamos a bajar para arriba y a subir para abajo. ¿Cómo llegamos ahí? ¿Eso es una escalera? ¿Eso se puede escalar? Espera, que a lo mejor tiene alguna entrada, un ascensor o algo, porque las estrellitas me indican por aquí, o sea que... ¡Pam! Un repollo y una papa. El papa de Roma. Vale, hay una rampa aquí. No te caigas, Moria, no te caigas, no te caigas. Ve un poquito más despacio, Moria, por favor. Hola, señor. Aquí estamos porque hemos venido.
Melus, we're back.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and you said before that you still had some business at the court.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You still remember, right, Melus?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago,
Sinte.
something called synth began. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and...
Wait! Didn't that guy
En el mundo real también hay cosas parecidas.
also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, if you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia. And as he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father.
Huh? How did that happen?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, looking back on it though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all...
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now.
But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. You're right. We still don't know what happened.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. I think this third person is... On that note, however, even though our opponent is insidious and cruel, they are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, there is no need to follow your father's path. It would be...
If that's indeed what he wished for, was I not the closest person to him? And yet, what was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he make... Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is... Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? And live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake.
Venga, pero deja de lamentarte y eso, y vamos a pasar a la acción. Venga, vamos a buscar al culpable.
Your partner appears to be quite reliable.
So you do know something else, Melus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet,
Mando,
Boss already
toma.
knew. But what
Giro
drove all the
inesperado.
tensions to the boiling point was the...
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he... And the serial disappearances case caused him...
Vale,
great
ahora ya va
anxiety.
cuadrando la historia.
5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would...
Right. So nobody would be able to get off, Scott?
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard. Especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the...
So he chose to die in silence.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. No. He might have set up everything precisely because... Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. Huh. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss. But if you want to use it against the enemy...
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. But a single visit to their headquarters would be... The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Huh. That's true. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt. Now,
you sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malou.
I am the butler, after all. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with... When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately... If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must... After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, the first is Florent, Spina de Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, there's someone else like him too. Marcel.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but not...
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry.
Of course. And thank you, Malus.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary...
Aw, thank you so much, Malus.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth.
It is settled then.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found...
Would you mind sharing it with me?
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he tried to be as careful as he could.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I don't know that for sure. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had...
Pues nada, se va a pasar el episodio y no vamos a hacer ni un combate, macho. Todo conversaciones, tío.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy? Papa always wanted to be a good man.
So, well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah.
Esa es una de las cosas que creo que Joyoverse debería mejorar. O sea, en las misiones del Arconte, que son las principales, en las que se va contando la historia principal y la viajera va avanzando a ver si llega a encontrar algún día a su hermano. Deberían mezclarlas más. Un poquito de conversación, un poquito de pelea, un poquito de puzzle. O sea, el equipo de desarrollo se debería sentar y decir, a ver, no puede ser que estés una hora entera hablando con personajes sin hacer nada, porque yo entiendo que el lore es muy importante y tal, y sé que a mucha gente le gusta, pero vamos, no sé, es mi idea, ¿eh?
Your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Ping, testimonio de la familia de Jack. Habla con Florent. ¿Dónde está Florent? Florentino Pérez. Por allí.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Venga, otra conversación. ¿Ves? Sí, está muy bien, pero es que entre una y otra te podían poner algo distinto, ¿no?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House?
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic?
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, after my partner here put the dots together for me, can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger, but when I got there, it was already too late.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guards said that the first shot didn't hit anyone. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into...
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So the gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying, Mr. But hold on.
Pero
If that's what had happened,
el Floren este no es uno de los 3 sospechosos. Pues no lo estás abordando de una forma muy razonable, me parece a mí.
Instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. I'll tell you everything.
I understand. Then, and if I may just say one more thing. The whole Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula, no matter what others might say.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina.
Venga, vamos a hablar con el segundo. Testimonio de Florano. Ve a la costa de Fontaine para hablar con Thierry. Ve a la costa de Fontaine, 928 metros. Alalam. Bueno, pues este episodio lo vamos a pasar investigando testigos y sospechosos habituales. Es que le voy a meter 5 minutillos más, pero no sé si a lo mejor incluso llegar a acabar con las 2 conversaciones que nos quedan.
Hey, Thierry.
Aunque se haga un poquito más largo de lo habitual.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that?
I mean, where I work, it's really up to me. Callis did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rosula from the ground, it would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy... Anyway, enough chit-chat.
Yes. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Lenny's case...
I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? If you want to go through the original files from your father's case...
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually...
Of course. Without them, Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them.
Well, you see, just recently, So... if you, hypothetically, wanted to do something against
Si, por ejemplo, quisieras.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. Jokes aside, I'd like
Te
to wish
declaro
you
libre
all
de
the best with your
sospechas.
investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so...
Bueno, que se lo ha dicho en plan broma, ¿no? Ay, que si no... Habla con Marcel Proust. Marcel Granollers. 168, vamos a hacer un salto épico. Un salto de fe. Vamos a hacer Assassin's Impact. Assassin's Impact. Entramos por la puerta triunfal. Hacemos la caidita de Roma. Pues os digo, acabamos con con la siguiente cinemática que vendrá después y ya acabamos el capítulo. A ver si mañana por lo menos podemos acercarnos más al final.
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? Sure.
Marcel.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House.
Yes, I've...
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf.
Es que esto se puede abrir, pero yo no sé... No sé muy bien. Corte de Fontaine, 1 de 3, 3 de 3. No sé.
I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discuss...
Es que luego además te hacen a ti, macho, que relaciones, joder. Si yo quisiera eso me leería una novela de Agatha Christie, macho.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing,
Y es que además soy malísimo para eso de relacionar pistas con sospechosos, con, vamos, yo sería un detective, pero pésimo, pésimo. Se me da fatal.
I still don't have much solid proof, but...
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamax. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner...
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will rest assured, Navia. Poisson will always remain a safe haven. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabriere will...
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making Then I heard the sound of a gunshot.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support.
Vale. Pues nada, ahora te dirá. Habla con Navia. Reorganiza las pistas con Navia, ¿veis? Lo que os digo. Pero es que esto de reorganizar pistas que se me da a mí fatal. A ver, venga, vamos a intentarlo. Vamos a intentarlo. Otra vez hay que subir ahora. Podríamos reorganizar las pistas aquí abajo. Digo yo, no sé. La liro, la liro, la liro.
We've talked to all three suspects.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed
No sé. A mí el guardia, el soldado ese de los ojos azules me parece muy sospechoso, ¿eh?
Even though we didn't make a breakthrough,
Me parece que tiene cara de malo.
what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right. Flora mentioned that Callus.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Oh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder.
So, what would make more sense?
Hasta ahí lo estoy entendiendo todo.
Would be to turn his back on the order.
Ya cuando me empieces a pedir que relacione pistas con sospechosos...
But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides, Jacques, the attack from the Gardamax has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we...
Given everything that's happened since... But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamax?
Yo diría Marcel. Marcel es el guardia, ¿no? Sí, este es Thierry.
Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of
Parece que me he equivocado.
Gardamax.
Marcel creo que es Thierry, el que yo quería decir.
Still really hard for me to imagine, though. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole...
Es Thierry.
Thierry, you say? Huh. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was...
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha? If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and...
Pero entonces ya solo nos queda uno.
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, but as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security.
So you're
Pues
saying
ya está, entonces no tengo ni idea.
Exactly. He can't. And who could it be?
La. Escoge una prueba. No entiendo esto. Información de Mancet, testimonio de Florent. Yo sigo diciendo que es el Thierry este. Porque esto está por investigar. Pues Marcel, Granollers.
You know, if you think everything through...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three.
Malus has always been very reliable. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Mars.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Pues no es por nada, hija, pero es el primero que te he dicho. Y me ha dicho, no, ese no puede ser.
We need far more solid proof before...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking...
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a
Tartaglia. ¡Ja!
Tartaglia.
What?
No jodas.
Is that someone you know?
No jorobes.
We know him.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearance.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it.
Bueno,
So I came
no
to
sabría
tell you the news
decirte
right
con
away.
claridad porque Tartaglia
Charge against him
primero era malo, luego
stands,
fue
and it
bueno,
looks
luego
too
se volvió otra vez
impossible
mal y
to get the
peleamos
guards to
contra él,
support any of
luego se
our
volvió otra vez
random
bueno, o sea que
Right.
yo ya no sabría
Because
decirte
they'll think they've
exactamente.
already found the culprit.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand.
Podemos separémonos.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, you're right. This is our best opportunity. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence.
Ya,
It'll be up.
We'll help you. Just
no te
like you
preocupes.
helped us.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get here?
Bueno, por lo menos
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson.
podemos tener la certeza de que en el próximo episodio sí pelearemos algo más. Bueno, algo más. Si es que en este no hemos peleado nada.
Thank you so much.
Venga, nos vemos en la ópera. Análisis del sospechoso. Tarirori. 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 Ta, ta, ti. Bueno, gente, pues nada, lo vamos a ir dejando por aquí. Ve al lugar que dijo Melus, que está ya a 46 metros.
The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Sí, Paimon, pero es entrar en un sitio con muchos monstruos y tal. Entonces lo vamos a dejar para el próximo. Espero que os haya gustado. Como podéis ver, solo tengo 900 protogemas, así que no puedo tirar todavía. De todas formas, me voy a esperar porque a Furina ya la tengo y este no me interesa. Y en la próxima, que es dentro de 5 días, van a meter a Ayato y a Zino. Y no tengo a ninguno de los dos. O sea que me voy a esperar estos 5 días. Como he dicho, voy a seguir grabando episodios sin tirada al gachapón. Así que nada, espero que os haya gustado. Está chula la historia esta, de momento. Y nada, muchas gracias por ver el vídeo y nos vemos en el próximo. Sed buenas, sed buenos, sed felices. Un saludín, chao, chao.